A cumulative frequency diagram here, which has sort of grouped the data for these 50 runners who took part in a 5k race in the Brecon Beacons, and this is relating to the finishing times. Now, it says in part A, which is the modal group, okay? You can see I've circled the first one, okay? Now, the word modal comes from the word mode, which just means most. So, we're looking at which group here, which time interval has the most finishes in. So, in the first time interval, 25 minutes, you could see, look, 27 races actually finished, okay? Whereas in the next group, it goes from 27 races to 35, so actually only 8 races finished in that time interval. And similar then for the rest, it never matches this first time interval here. So that's going to be the modal group there. And another way of thinking about it is, look, this is the steepest line, isn't it? This is much steeper than this, so it just shows there's a bigger rise in that time interval. Part B then says, is it certain that the last runner's time was 45 minutes? You must give a reason for your answer. Now when you look here, you might think, oh yeah, 45 minutes because there's a point there. But remember, these results here are only representing an interval of time, okay? So there's a certain amount of people here, and actually in this last group, it goes from 48, doesn't it, to 50. So you've got 2 people that finished between 40 and 45 minutes. Now, what you often see when this is represented in a table is a sort of inequality sort of setup like that, okay, whereby the time interval shows between 40 and 45 minutes. You might see something like that. Now, the 2 runners could be anywhere in that time range, and in fact, even if it was like this, then they couldn't actually equal 45 minutes, couldn't they? Because I've said you're less than 45. So you could give that as a reason. The time interval might not actually include 45 minutes. You could say that. Or even if we had a time interval like this, okay, which is probably the more likely version. This is the most likely one, between 40 and 45 minutes. They could equal 45 minutes, but it doesn't mean that they finished at the top range of that group. It could be that they're in between here. So the reason I'm going to say is, I'm going to say no, and the reason is they could finish anywhere in the time interval from 40 to 45 minutes. Okay. Part C then says the organisers hoped that 80% of the runners would finish the race within 30 minutes. Complete this. So actually, what percentage of runners completed the race within 30 minutes? Well, if we look at 30 minutes here, 30 minutes, it was 35 people, yeah? 30 minutes, 35 people. 35 out of 50. So 35 out of 50, okay, finished within 30 minutes. Now, to get that as a percentage, of course, this is really easy to get this to a percentage, because what you can do is you can double the bottom to get 100, okay, times them by 2, so you double the top as well to get 70. So actually, only 70% of the runners finished within 30 minutes. So what time did 80% of the runners take? Well, 80%, well, if there are 50 runners, yeah, 80% is going to be 40, isn't it, if you think about it, because 10% of 50 runners is going to be 5, so 80% is going to be 8 times that, so 40 runners. So if we go across at 40 runners, you can see then 40 runners across, that's going to be 35 minutes. So it's actually 35 minutes, 80% runners completed. Part D then says last year the median time was 26 minutes. By how many minutes was the median time better this year? Well, 50 runners, to get the median time, remember it's halfway, so the 25th runner, okay, so half the runners is 25, that will give me the median. So if I look down, I've got that there. Now that will be 24.5 minutes, I believe, yeah, okay, because 2 squares represents a minute, so 24.5 minutes was the time this year. So in terms of how much it's been beaten, well, it's going to be 1.5 minutes better, yeah, because you just take them away. So 1.5 minutes better this year.